You guys hear me?
Yes.
Yell if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay, good. My name's John. I'm one of the organizers. Thank you guys all for coming out. It's awesome that there's so many people here. We weren't sure, but it's great. I'm going to have a little talk here. There's a surveillance state growing wild in this country, and its inevitable turn against its own people is already happening. The NSA is collecting information on everyone. They say they need a haystack first in order to find the needle. And if you didn't do anything wrong, you should not worry because you aren't the needle they're looking for. But I want to tell you, you should never trust them with that haystack in the first place. We're fortunate to live under the subjection of one of the least oppressive governments in history, and yet make no mistake, we do live under their subjection. I don't know if any of you remember the scene in St. Paul 5 years ago during the Republican National Convention there. I went down to check things out. The entirety of downtown was blocked off with concrete barricades, fences, sandbags. The police and the soldiers and Homeland Security were there. They were deployed in force to keep the people under control. It was chilling. I saw 100 people get arrested all at once by riot police, merely for marching peacefully. They used the same tactics in Denver for the DNC that year, the Democratic National Convention. There were soldiers on the streets of our cities patrolling with assault rifles to protect against us. I only bring it up now to remind you that even in this, one of the most free nations, you're only free to do as you please until they tell you not to. I realized that day. There's already ample history in this country of intelligence and law enforcement power being abused to oppress lawful dissent. One need only remember Hoover and Nixon. The old saying, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear, is false. Besides being false, it's irrelevant. All of us have something to hide. No one in this crowd has never broken a law in their lives, so the moment you draw their attention, you're at their mercy. All they have to do is go back into the haystack and look for you. So what kind of effect do you think that has on free speech and free action when we all dare not to draw their attention? To appropriate a phrase spoken by Edward Snowden, who leaked the recent NSA revelations, if they know everything about you, it's a simple matter to go back in time and derive suspicion from an innocent life. And they can do that whenever they want because they keep these records for years. Does that make you feel like a citizen of a free state or a subject?
No.
Polls show that at least half of voting Americans think what the NSA is doing is wrong, and yet most of these won't be here today. You are, and I'm glad for it. You are the beginning. This small protest will not change the course of the nation in one day. You know that, even the most fervent among you, and I'm not going to stand here and lie to you to make us all feel like it will. Having said that, don't be discouraged. If anyone doubted the power of the will of the people, they need only to look to Egypt in the Arab Spring.
Yes.
And we're not even here to overthrow our government, but merely to reform it. Furthermore, it doesn't require anything like a majority to strike fear into those who would oppress us. I quote the father of American civil disobedience, Henry David Thoreau, when he said, "Cast your whole vote, not a strip of paper merely, but your whole influence. A minority is powerless while it conforms to the majority. It is not even a majority then, but it is irresistible when it clogs by its whole weight." This protest, along with those of our fellow Americans across the country, is the beginning of that influence that flexes its muscles beyond the vote, beyond that mere strip of paper. If we do it right, it's not going to change more than a few thousand it's not going to take more than a few thousand of us to change what we want to change. So don't lose heart. We can do this. Thank you.